Hello everybody, I am Mrigendra Pratap and I welcome you to today's talk on Sangharakshita's approach to Buddhism. I will cover this lecture in three parts. The first part is introduction, where I will briefly describe Sangharakshita's life and the objectives of this talk. The second part will explain the factors that helped Sangharakshita to shape his modern Buddhist ideas, and the third part, that is the last part, will highlight some key concepts of Sangharakshita's approach to Buddhism. So now I start with the introduction. The various Buddhist leaders have put in efforts to contribute to the modern Buddhist movement and reinterpret the teachings of the Buddha as per their understanding. Among these leaders, the position of Urgen Sangharakshita is unique, since some of the ways he interpreted the Dhamma, that is, teachings of the Buddha, are exceptional and unparalleled. He was born in London, UK in the year 1925. At an impressionable young age, he developed an interest in Eastern culture and philosophy. The distinct realization of being a Buddhist dawned upon him when he read the Vajrachedika Prajnaparamita Sutra, that is Diamond Sutra. Thereafter, he visited India and lived the life of a wandering mendicant for 2 years before being ordained as a Theravadin Buddhist monk under Bhikkhu U. Chandramani. His first teacher was Bhikkhu Jagdish Kashyap. He spent 14 years in the Himalayan town of Kalimpong, West Bengal. There he met with Tibetan Buddhist teachers. He studied under leading 7 Tibetan teachers from all the major Buddhist sects and received initiation from the Mahayana and the Vajrayana sects. He found inspiration across all the schools of thought in Buddhism. After 2 decades of living in India, he returned to the United Kingdom to teach Dhamma. His seminal contribution to modern Buddhism was the establishment in the UK in 1967 of a new Buddhist movement called the Friends of Western Buddhist Order, subsequently renamed as the Triratna Buddhist Community or Order. This movement gained popularity and spread out across the globe. The Triratna Buddhist Community's branch, Trilok Bodh Mahasangha Sahayak Gana, in short TBMSG, was established in India in 1978, and it actively supports Ambedkarite Buddhism in India. Sangharakshita wrote more than 50 books and also delivered more than 200 lectures explaining the Buddhist teachings from a modern perspective to the Western audience. This talk focuses on Sangharakshita's approach to Buddhism, that how he made a Buddhism relevant and practicable in the modern world, and how his principles are practically applied in this movement, the Triratna Buddhist Community or Order. This talk focuses on Sangharakshita's approach to Buddhism, that how he made Buddhism relevant and practicable in the modern world, and how his principles are practically applied in his movement, the Triratna Buddhist Community or Triratna Buddhist Order in India and across the world. So now I will discuss in brief about the factors that help Sangharakshita to shape his modern Buddhist ideas. Sangharakshita's ideas have developed in three phases. The first phase was his short vacation in India with his spiritual companions and spiritual teachers as a wanderer, which provided insight into the innate working of Indian spirituality, philosophy and culture, and thereby become a tower for him to understand Indian Buddhism. If we see the second phase was his stay in India after his ordination in Buddhism. This phase captured his growth as a Buddhist teacher based out of Kalimpong, West Bengal, during which he emerged as an active Buddhist practitioner, a scholar, leader and editor of various Buddhist magazines and journals. Now the third phase of his ideas took shape entirely in the UK after the establishment of his Buddhist movement in the form of the Triratna Buddhist community. Now I will describe in a brief some key concepts of Sangharakshita's approach to Buddhism. The first key concept is the Triyana, that is unity of Buddhism. Sangharakshita not only studied the three primary schools of Buddhism, but also took initiation into Theravada, Mahayana and Vajrayana. Notably, his first article entitled The Unity of Buddhism was published in 1944. Although he had not experienced the practice of living Buddhism, he wrote such a scholarly article only based on a study and his imagination. Later, he developed the idea of the Tirayana in his magnum opus, A Survey of Buddhism in 1957. In this book, he maintained that the act of going for refuge to the three jewels and the fundamental teachings of the Buddha, such as 5 spiritual faculties, 4 noble truths and dependent origination, are common teachings for all sects and the base of the unity of all major Buddhist schools. In this way, he developed the concept of the non-sectarian approach and the unity of Buddhism. He believed that people in the modern world are successors to the whole of the Buddhism. This is why the Triratna Buddhist order does not restrict itself to one form of Buddhism, but draws inspiration from the entire tradition.